as we have been talking, last class we were talking about Mahamudra, and we discussed that Mahamudra is something if the person practices will not have any fear, and moreover the diseases like whether it is leprosy or chronic constipation, all these things will be taken care of. And moreover, this particular Mahamudra, as we have been discussing this point, that it is not to be taught to common people. This is something secret, highlights that unless the person is deserved, only the teaching should be given. The main reason behind it, if you look at the physical practices of Mahamudra, Mahamudra needs certain type of mastery. For example, if the person is not able to do Paschimottanasana properly, for that person to do Mahamudra will be very tough. Because when the person does Paschimottanasana, now the breathing will not be stable. In fact, there will be shallow breathing. And if the person has really practiced Paschimottanasana properly, there is some type of flexibility, not necessarily absolutely the person has to be flexible. Then only if the person practices Mahamudra, at least physically, will not be much affected. Second, Mahamudra always demands a lot of Nadi Suddhi. And moreover, if the Nadi Suddhi is not being practiced without the help of Nasika Mudra, especially, just because many people, as I notice, especially in India, as always I say that the confusion of yoga comes from India all over the world. Like there is a huge group that do Nadi Suddhi. They talk in different ways. Okay, each one wants to promote their business market, putting confusion and putting their names. How? One very popular recent group, they do Nadi Suddhi. They will say, I think Amula, they will say Nadi Suddhi. The sound and the way they do it. By doing that, what happens? The prana gets completely imbalanced. Because when I do, in fact, this way, I am feeling uncomfortable now. But the simple thing, that's why we take the help of the Nasika Mudra, for example. The facial expression, there need not be any change. Because we are not interested in the physical aspect, or you can say the gross aspect of the air. So that's a very simple way. As much as possible. This becomes half round, then again taking it. What does it mean is, here when we do in this way, we regulate prana, not just regulating mere breathing. But whereas if you do, they will do like this. Oh God. If you don't have headache, you will have headache. Or if you don't have headache, you will become headache for others. Either way. I have seen, and especially I remember in bank of the Ganga, I was just taking bath. One group of people they came. They took bath after taking bath because they have come to Ganges, so they have to do some pranayama. like this, and all this whole body movement, everything. I understood from which group these people have come. Honestly telling you, whether they went through the headache or not, but I went through the headache, and moreover, me going through headache, whoever were there, for them, they became jokers, some entertainment. Nobody could take them seriously. It was really full of showing off. Whereas if the person does seriously, slowly and steadily, you can see the upliftment of the prana will be totally different. However, the point what we are highlighting here is, if the Nadi Suddhi is being done with the help of hand, Nasika Mudra, later on understanding the prana aspect, because whenever you want to breathe, you can breathe. Whenever you don't want to breathe, you don't have to breathe. First, because in the beginning stages, we take the help of air in order to regulate our prana. Later on, through the mind, directing the prana, we have to regulate the breathing. There's a big shift has to take place. For a common practitioner, through the help of breathing, regulates prana so that mind starts listening to it. That's why when you do pranayama, this is our little bit in the ordinary stages, in the beginning stages, automatically mind becomes calm and quiet. Mind listens to you. But that is not the end. Later on, what one has to do is, through the mind, by taking the help of prana, now one can regulate breathing. And that is what we call real pranayama. The ordinary pranayama, what people do talk, is a breathing exercise. But there only pranayama starts when you understand the process this way and you reverse back. So in order to do Mahamudra, you have to practice this. In fact, one group they said, no, in Mahamudra also you can do get up, they can hold, and again, or holding time again you can be there and do all this. Yes, it's possible, not that it's impossible, but it is not that effective. So, however, when minimum practices is required in order to practice Mahamudra, which again implies the person has to have a lifestyle. Because without lifestyle, it is almost difficult to practice anything consistently. We may practice, for example, if we have a disease or some problem, we'll be practicing a given posture or given pranayama for a length of time, maybe more than what is required. But the moment we feel little better, what happens? Will we drop it or not? It's like people go to dietitian. How many people really follow this? Yes, that long they do follow. As long as the person feels fat. The moment feels okay, I'm okay, then what happens? Drops, and next moment again becomes much more. Unless the person is really, especially ladies wants to contest for Miss Universe or this contest, or film actress or actress, whatever, or models. So also, as I noticed with reference to yoga practices and that to pranayama practices, if there is no lifestyle, it's almost impossible. Because as I notice, how many people they do get up with laziness? Forget about freshness. I'm not talking about freshness, is far away. Because people get up nowadays with headache. And the whole day they go along with headache. Headache means a problem. They do get up with a problem and also live in the problem. How many people do get up with freshness the moment you feel, oh, today is a bright day. Yes, only one day they feel on Sundays. Oh, today is a really bright day. Yes, when Sunday starts at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That is called bright day. But how many people they do really get up before sunrise and they feel that they are fresh? If this minimum thing is not there, and if you ask them to practice yoga and pranayama, what sort of yoga and pranayama they will practice? In Hindi we say is bakbas, namesake. However, he says that one has to teach these sort of things to deserve people. Never teach things in a wrong place. You may become popular, you may be earning a lot of money, you may be accepted, respected by people, but honestly speaking, you are not helping them. In fact, you are destroying them with your knowledge or without your knowledge. And all these things again comes. There is some type of practice is required. And after doing all this asana pranayama, one needs to spend some time in japa. So he highlights the aspect called pranava japa. So what is a pranava japa? Let us look at chanting. You can say chanting omkara. He says Padmasanam samarudhya samakaya sirodharaha nasagra drushti ekante japed omkaram avyam. Very solid rule. This is what samakaya sirogrivaha or dhara it is there. In Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter, a lot of places it comes here. Don't say that this text has been borrowed from Bhagavad Gita. No. In fact, Bhagavad Gita borrows from Upanishads. However, he says, Padmasana samarvihya, sorry, not samarudhya, samarvihya, samakaya sirodharaha. One is supposed to be seated in Padmasana. Actually, Padmasana does a beautiful job where you do the locking system. It's like very simple. There are few tips and openly saying. Actually, in breathing pattern, if you observe, leg is related to opposite side. For example, right leg has got connection with left nostril, and left leg has got connection with right nostril. So completely opposite. These people do not know, many people do not know this concept. However, here he says beautifully, when you do the Padmasana, now each leg is being crossed. Then what you do is, it becomes much more easier to cross the breathing. For example, just I am trying to say, if you keep right leg on the top of left leg, automatically you will discover left nostril will be predominant. So also if you keep the left leg on the top of the right leg, right nostril will be predominant. That is how it works. That's why in our cultural practices, just I am giving you another tips. Like when people they do namaskaram, especially Sashtanga namaskaram, when the ladies are gents, ladies they do like halfway, kneeling down, gents they do completely. They do keep one leg top of another leg. Actually, culturally, I would rather say, not traditionally, culturally, generally while doing namaskaram time, they put right leg on the top of left leg. The reason behind this is that the moment you keep the right leg on the top of left leg, that means you make the left nostril active. So when you make left nostril active, there is always advantage here that mind becomes receptive and you will be able to listen to it, at least you will be able to accept it. So to make sure that the mind is calm and quiet, just available, not too much agitated, not in its own world to bring down some type of, so that's why it is being done. How beautiful they have done. However, here, when the person does first is Padmasana, and along with the Padmasana comes what? Make sure Samakaya Sirodhara, that we need to keep the back straight. This is the most important aspect in especially pranayama. Anytime as the medical science starts stating a lot that if you look at the stress comes, present generation state, stress comes because of the sitting posture. They say because of the habit, but I always say because of the sitting posture. The way we sit in the office, in front of the computer, especially whether office and house, like hunchback, and totally looking at only one thing, not anything at all. Actually, this something creates a lot of pain. And the first thing is, in practices of pranayama, especially I am talking about here, make sure your back is straight. If the back is not straight, like many people like sit like this. Anytime. It's a wrong posture of sitting. You have to make back straight. Because if the back is not straight, you will discover the person thinking will not be straight. Very simple. You can look at. Whenever your thinking is getting deluded or mind is being preoccupied, you will discover you are sitting like this. You cannot sit straight when your mind is deluded. Try. Very difficult. When mind is crowded, automatically your sitting posture will reflect. And the moment you sit straight, you will discover opens up. Mind literally opens up. And moreover, the moment this is what to be practiced all the time, let us sit as straight as possible, which is very useful from yogic standpoint, also very useful for physiology from the standpoint of physiology. However, it says, and one more point I would like to add here, that don't do unnecessary movement. Because many people say, look at everything, all this. No. While sitting straight, as less as possible body movement. That's why I use the word no unnecessary movement. If it is required, you must. Nothing wrong in it. But whether it is required or is a habitual error, that you need to look at. And then he says, Nasagra Drushti Ekante. You need to keep the eyes on the tip of the nose. Now, what is this Nasagra Drushti? On the top of the nose, you have to visualize. You have to keep your mind, I would rather say, not eyes. As many people say, this is called. And some people say, no, you don't have to keep in the Nasagra. You have to keep, in fact, we have already seen on Gulada, on Ajna Chakra. Now there is a big confusion whether this is right or that is right. So we are not here to, because each one has got its advantage, also disadvantage. Depends upon the person and the places. Here why he highlights this particular point, let us look at this. Generally, because a lot of points are there. When you visualize on the tip of the nose, what happens? When you visualize on the forehead, Ajna Chakra, what happens? I am not here to discuss in details now, but that is separate topic altogether. Here what happens? There is a possibility that mind always will wander. You need to give some task to the mind. Because if you don't engage your mind, if you don't give solid work to the mind will make you engaged very bad. And the worst thing of the mind is, I know. And the moment mind says that I know, that is the end of the person. You cannot teach that person that moment. That's why this is my policy. I always look at, this is what I handle. I am interested in those people, those who are really interested to study. No. The moment they say that I know, or I discover that they have come to the conclusion that no, good. That means really good for me, because I am not here. Yes, I do live, I do relate, I do love to relate with a person as a friend, as a well-wisher, as something. But I cannot look at that person and I cannot answer that person's question anymore. That is what in fact I do live my life because it's easier for me to handle the situation. Because any child or anybody, the moment comes to the conclusion that I know, that is the end of the goal. In fact, not only near end of the goal, decaying starts. The person starts falling down. If I come to the conclusion I know, because if you ask me honestly telling you, I do not know anything. Because see, even if through the class, whether you people are learning or not, I do not know. But I am learning a lot. Whether you people are getting benefited or not, but I am getting benefited from taking the class. Because I get an opportunity to dwell upon this. I am not here to vomit. I am neither interested to vomit because I love to keep quiet. But because there is a class, that's why I have got opportunity, I do get an opportunity to dwell upon this knowledge. And that is what the benefit I do get. So while taking the class, I am not here to just look at the text and vomit it. That's why whenever I am not okay or comfortable, I say, look, I am not. Or this is what the text says and gloss over. Because okay, after that I do spend time. However, here it says very clearly, you need to keep your mind engaged. You have to give clear instruction to your mind. If you don't give clear instruction to your mind, mind is not going to listen to you. Listen, this is what the most important point he highlights through the Nasaga. You say, no, I want to do only Omkara Japa. Okay, I have given. No. Mind always looks for loopholes. If you don't give clear instruction to the mind, physical level, breathing level, and mental level, mind is definitely not going to cooperate with you. So to make sure that mind has to listen to the person, these are the meters, these are the situations, or these are the points have been covered by the text or by the tradition here. And once you do it, most important thing is ekante, alone. You need to do japa. Not like moving around and doing japa. And when people say, I am doing japam, this is called show off. I have done this many numbers, this many malas. They will not say number, this many malas I have done today. That many malas, yeah, I could see your face. Because if the japam is something, please understand. If the japam doesn't improve your day-to-day life, if it doesn't make you to work more systematic, that means you are not doing japam, you are just wasting your time. Japam, whoever does japam regularly, you will discover that person's way of functioning will improve tremendously. This is what I have gone through, I have seen in my life. Because the one who does japam consciously, as it is being told in traditional, the person will not have unnecessarily unwanted thoughts. In our day-to-day life, if we observe what happens to all of us, we do entertain a lot regarding unnecessarily unwanted thoughts. And these unnecessarily unwanted thoughts or unnecessary unwanted thoughts, you can say whichever English you want to put it, that actually kills most of our time. Whereas if the japam is being done, those time is being managed, automatically mind becomes so systematic, so nice, only good way of functioning happens. That's why you come to the point all the time. However, he says once it's been done, then what is all about it? What is that Omkara? Okay, Om Japed Omkaram Abhyam. Abhyaram Abhyam means Vyarahita, which is absolute, no destruction at all, who is free from all sort of destruction. That is what called Omkara. And one need to do Japam of Omkara. Why Omkara is being highlighted? Quickly I can say, and I will go to other aspect of it. Actually, culturally, Omkaram is not being allowed to chant by everybody. This is the cultural point. But he talks here is Omkara. Always we make sure with Omkara some deity names will be there. How a sannyasi can chant Omkara only. In fact, a sannyasi is not allowed to chant anything other than Omkara. Only Rudram, there are few things are being highlighted. Rudram, Omkara is being highlighted. Even if a sannyasi is not allowed, I am talking about Vedic sannyasi, is not allowed to chant Gayatri Mantra. Because when the person chants Omkara, the Gayatri is being condensed in Omkara. The Omkara is the condensed form of Gayatri. Omkara is everything. And we'll be seeing in little bit whatever talks on Omkara, what is that Omkara. So here, when he talks that one has to chant Omkara, that means whatever we have discussed so far, the person who is living the lifestyle of this high. Imagine, what does he need? He needs only knowledge. Only that person starts chanting Omkara. Can you see the difference here? Like as I was saying in the morning to you, that the person goes to the temple. What a beautiful incident which is really worth remembering, worth mentioning over here. That a child is standing outside of the temple. The person does prayer and comes back. And it's a natural tendency, whether it is temple or churches, anywhere, if they see some poor people, they must do some charity. Whatever form. Not that they do charity, they want to get rid of the sense of guilt. What I notice with the charity, more the person is called a charitable person, more the person is having sense of guilt. And most of the people, they do charity out of sense of guilt, nothing else. However, that's why these beggars, they know very well all over the world. They are available in front of the temples, in front of the mosques or whatever, or in front of churches. They know this is the right place to catch hold of the sense of guilty people, because people, those who come to the temple or churches, only full of sense of guilt. However, this person comes out of the temple. When he comes out of the temple, he discovers one young boy having like malnutrition, really, putting a dirty cloth, standing there. So, because he did something in the temple, so he wanted to really do something again better. So hands over 2 rupees coins, 2 coins to this child. So I said, what are you doing? Yeah, take this 2 rupees and go and have some biscuits. Kill your stomach. The child says, I am not interested. Hands over the boy. What? No, I am not interested. But however, then why are you standing here? No, I am standing here to get some answer. What answer? Now promise me, if you can tell the truth, I'll ask some question. Yes, I promise you. And that in front of the temple. So the first question he asked, sir, you went to the temple, I saw you. Yes. What did you pray? In answer says, yeah, I prayed for the welfare of the family. That's all. No, in fact, I prayed, let my son get a job. Oh, that's great. Then, what did you do? Yes, I said that, look, oh God, if my son gets a job, I'll do an elaborate puja over here. Oh, really? No, just look. You thought that God is capable of giving job? No, yes, of course, God gives everything to us. If God can give you a job, especially God can give you a job to your son, that means God is capable. And you want to give a good puja to him. What does it mean? Are you not bribing God to get the job? This person will take an aback. What's going on here? Now, next question asked. I have got some more questions. Now, this person started really sweating. What's going on here? However, now the next question comes. How did you come here? Generally, I come by vehicle. Today, how did you come? I came by cycle rickshaw. Oh, somebody pulled you. Yes. How much did you pay? because he has to tell the truth. Actually, he was asking me for 7 rupees, but I gave just 5 rupees. Why? Why I bargained? Because people were just not even half a kilometer distance. For that 7 rupees, 5 rupees right price. Oh, fine, that's good. Look, the person who pulled you brought all the way, pulling the rickshaw, cycle rickshaw. He wanted 7 rupees, but you said no because you bargained with him for 2 rupees. Whereas here, I didn't ask for money, but you could give me 2 rupees. Because you bargained that 2 rupees from him, so you kept it, so you wanted to get rid of that 2 rupees with me. This person was really strong. What's going on? What is happening? I said, look, have you ever, definitely you must have gone to the hotels? Yes, of course. And especially star hotels, yes. After having food, bill comes 5,000 rupees. Do you bargain? What I brought in? Definitely not. And on the top of that, what you do? You give 10% tips. Whether they deserve or not, that's a big question, because this is what I go through. Okay? Whether they really deserve 10% or not is a big question mark, but we do give tips for what I do not understand. This is what I really personally feel it is ridiculous to give tips unless the person deserves. Even if the person looks down, okay, you are stupid, so what? Okay, I am stupid, I know I am stupid. If I am not stupid, do you think I will come to the hotel? The moment I come to hotel to eat, it proves that I am stupid. However, because the people dance according to the tune, however, coming to the point, so how much tips do you give? Again, on the top of that, you never bargain, and on the top of that, you give 10% tips. Why do you bargain here? And as the child was asking more and more questions, this person was only sweating, nothing else. Just to highlight this point over here, that how we function in our day-to-day life mechanically. Out of sense of guilty, out of sense of helplessness, we do promise many things, we do give anything, or we do many things, including japa. It is very rarely to come across people those who do japa for the sake of japa. As I have noticed, it's very rarely to come across people those who do japa for the sake of japa, either to have power, to position, some siddhi, accomplishment, something or other. And as long as the person does japam for this sort of thing, I am sure that person is not going to achieve what we are discussing. Japam is to be done for the sake of training the mind. And if the mind is being trained, if the mind is available with me, I can achieve anything I want. The sad part, most sad part in our day-to-day life, mind is not available with us. And when mind is not available with us, what happens? Whatever mind wants, and we do that. Because today I was talking one of the tantric person. He has done enough of japa because a lot of power. Imagine this particular incident. It was really, that's why I took little time for me. What happens is, no doubting the person has put lot of effort, lot of japa and established the energy. But mind is not listening to the person. Now whatever mind wants, the person does. Now all the japam, whatever he has done, is getting wasted or not? It's completely wasted. That is what people they do. If the japam is not being done to train one's own mind, just to establish one's own self, or just to establish one's own power and position, or whatever all other things, that is not japam. In fact, first it destroys one's own self. So here he says beautifully that one need to do japam for the sake of japam, means for training one's own mind. And more my mind is being trained, more my mind listens to me, success is that is the success. Success is not measured with the terms of people, with the terms of prosperity, with the terms of power, with the terms of anything. But success is something is being measured how much your mind listens to you. more my mind listens to me, more I am successful within. And that is what we all look for. That's why when I look at any rich people, any powerful people, anybody, I always look at their helplessness. That's why the most important thing, if I'm right, who is the person when he passed away, he kept asked the group that when I travel, my last travel, make sure both the hands is out of coffin. I think it is Napoleon Bonaparte, I think. Okay, I forgot because in my one of the story it is there actually. I told you I used to talk a lot and I stopped. One of the great emperor, I recollect that name. One of the great emperor who had amassed a lot of wealth, and everybody knows that the great emperor. But when before he passes away, in fact, what he did is there is a lot of stories about him actually. He wanted to learn something, and he could not learn because he wanted to be happy and contented person. When he came to India to invade, on the way he sees a Swami and says beautifully that I would like to know the secret of the happiness. I could make out that you are a happy person. Then the Swami says, I'll teach you. No, no, I am not available. I am going to invade India. After invading India, I'll come back and learn on them. The secret of happiness. The story was he never returned. So when he becomes helpless, he said, no, please make me alive to reach the Swami. I want to talk to him so that I should learn something. He said that please learn. I didn't respect it. However, he passed away. That time he says, make sure when my dead body goes through the last travel, during my last journey, make sure that both the hands is out of the coffin, which is unusual. Then they asked why? Because so that let the subject of my country know, even if the one who grabbed so much prosperity, not only from this country, from all over the world, when passes away without anything, without carrying anything in the hand. Let the people understand. What a beautiful message he had given, really is worth remembering. I'll be bringing that name later on. However, he says that we look for power, prosperity, and other things through Japam. Are we not ridiculous people? That's not the job of Japam at all. Do the Japam for the sake of Japam. Then you will see once the mind is available, what we use the word called Chitta Suddhyartham. That is a technical word. Actually, through Japam, you can achieve whatever you want. Is there? Anything you want to achieve, you can achieve through Japam because you again mind again. You want to get this thing, do dwell upon the mind through the Japam, you will get it. Nothing is impossible. But however, that is again temporary. The most important thing you achieve, maximum time, how long it will stay with you? Till the body lasts. Then after the body, next life what will happen? Where are you? Is there any guarantee that you will be a rich person? Definitely not. What sort of mental turmoil you will go through? Is there any guarantee? You can just look at yourself. Did you choose your parentage, your childhood? Many things we have not chosen. Based on our karma, we have worked. So if this is the fact, if this is the truth, now tell me, we should spend time doing japa for the sake of all these small things or for Chitta Suddhyartham, for making the mind available to myself. So the purpose of the japam is nothing. Make sure that the mind is to be available to myself. If I do japam for this sake, let my mind be available with myself, I'll see everything will fall in track. However, then what is that Omkara? Why Omkara is being highlighted so much? It talks about the Omkara. Let us look at quickly. Omkara is like Brahman. It says Om Nityam Shuddham Buddham Nirvikalpam Niranjanam Nirakyatam Anadi Nidhanam Ekam Turiyam Yad Bhutam Yad Bhavat Bhavishyata Parivartamanam Sarvadana Vachinnam, Sarvada Anavachinnam, Param Brahma. Omkara is something, Om is Param Brahma. Quickly I'll talk about Om. Actually, physically, if you look at the Om sound, A, U, M. So three, in fact 2.5 matras, not even three. 2.5 syllables. Now, A stands for, like when you make the noise, A, mouth is open. U, halfway. M, close. That means if you look at any sound we make in this world, whether it is a known language, known sound or unknown sound, whether it is a bird or any creature, animal or human being, all the sounds put together, will it come under these three categories or not? Either widely open, A, U, all the sound comes under three categories. That's a whole Sabda Prapancha. We use the word Sabda Prapancha. Sabda means sound. This sound world. There are the sound world also, there are shops are there. The sound world can be presented with one sound in a very brief way, in a shortcut manner. What is that? Called Om. And again, it has been talked a lot through the different Upanishads. O stands for waking state, U stands for dream, and M stands for sleep. And the silence before, after stands for the consciousness, that you as a person. Who takes up the dream state? Who takes up the waking state? Who takes up the sleep state? How? She talks beautifully. That's why the best way we explain all the time. First, we use the word Om before any deity, any God. Because we accept the God is representing one aspect of the totality. That's why I said, in our culture, we don't use a miserable God. If the God himself is not able to help himself or herself, how come that God will help us? When people they say, no, this is God, that is God, people, like somebody was telling me recently, I'm sorry, there are a lot of, in Hinduism also, like nowadays, many gods are popping up. That's why I say, sometimes God has to go through this family planning situation. Each one starts making one God. And every human being is also becoming God. Okay, nothing wrong in it, actually, in fact, they are God. But the problem is, those who become God, they say, we are only God. We are the last God. Or behind me, nobody is going to come. That's more dangerous. And I am only Savior. Hey, first you save yourself. Don't be a Savior of others. However, here, when we talk on God, just a little bit aside of our talk, God represents one aspect of totality. So because if to remind that God represents the one aspect of the totality, how the best way we can bring that to totality? That is called Om. That's why in culture, without Om, no mantra is complete. Unless it is a Bija mantra, that's a different thing altogether. In a Bija mantra, we don't use Omkara. Bija mantra means the mantra is in the seed format. That is a little different concept altogether. But any other mantras has to be represented like any, like Om, let us say Shivaya Namah. Shivaya Namah is not a complete mantra. It has to be Om Shivaya Namah. Om has to come. If it is not there, Om is not there, that mantra is not complete. Because the totality is not being represented. Can you see the concept here? We need to represent the totality. If the totality is not being represented, how come you will represent the one aspect of the totality, or how you will be able to dwell upon the one aspect of the totality in that particular chanting, particular mantra? It is difficult for us, for a common person to do it. That's why Bija mantra is something not to be given to common people. Only the Bija mantra is being given later on. So he says beautifully, Omkara is Param Brahma. And what is that? Nityam, always, eternal. Suddham, pure, Buddha, because all these good words you can use it. Nirvikalpam, free from all sort of mental construction or comparisons. And Nirakyatam, any word blemishless. All these things are one and same but from different angle because each word covers one aspect. We think it's wrong, no right. If you say no, I am small, no, it's big. I am impure, you are pure. So whatever we talk, we have limitations, it's completely other. That's why all these words. Nirakyatam, Anadi, because we say we have a beginning and we are end, we are small. No, it's Anadi, beginningless. Turiyam, fourth state, because we go through the three things, either waking, dream or sleep. No. Who exist in 3 periods of time. Not that who is beyond 3 periods of time. Like there is a big difference. There is a fourth state, means what? Which is beyond of third state. Nonsense. This word beyond is really ridiculous word. I'm sorry to use this word nonsense here. It is not beyond 3 states. That which exists in 3 states is called fourth state. How? Yad bhutam bhavat bhavishyat, that which was, is and will be. And all the time is there. Sarvada anavacchinnam, which is never divided, means always undivided. And what is that? That is called Param Brahma, absolute truth. And that truth is something is being highlighted by the word Omkara. And also it talks after that, from that Omkara comes called Parasakti. We'll be discussing this thing, what happens from that absolute, from the totality, what happens. We'll be seeing quickly, keeping with Tattva in the mind. Thank you very much.